Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video. I am so excited for today's video, and you may be asking, Kaylani, what's with all the Christmas? It's only November 1st, but I have a very exciting announcement. As you can see from the title, I will be co-hosting the Merry Bookmas SeasonAthon with Melanie from Completely Melanie and Clint from Reed's Readers. I am so excited that they asked me to co-host for this month's SeasonAthon. I have had so much fun not only watching their videos for their SeasonAthon, but also participating in Spring Into Reading-a-thon when I had a chance to do that at the beginning of the year. So I'm so happy to be able to play a part in this season's SeasonAthon. So how many times am I going to say season in this video? Probably a ton. So let's go ahead and talk over details for this readathon and everything that you'll need to know, and then we'll go over prompts and recommendations. So a little bit about what SeasonAthon is. So every season, Melanie and Clint will do a readathon, so spring, summer, winter, and fall, and they will do different prompts for each season, and sometimes it's a week long, sometimes it's a month long, and they always have a group book, and they always have a live show, including the author of the group book to chat over the book, go over just different questions that you had about the book for the author, different things like that. It's always a lot of fun, so that will be happening again this month. And then for this month's readathon, it is a month-long readathon, so it will start on December 1st and go all the way through the end of the month. And for the group book, we will have a live show on December 19th at 3 p.m. EST. If anything changes or I got the dates and information wrong, I will leave all of that information in the description box below. But I'm very excited to be sharing all of this information with you. I'm very excited to participate with all of you guys that are going to participate in the SeasonAthon this time around. And yeah, I don't know how many more times I can say excited, and I'm so blessed that they asked me to join. If you guys don't already follow Clint and Melanie, please go subscribe to them. Give them love, show them all the love and attention that they deserve, because they are wonderful creators, really awesome people in general, have such wonderful giving hearts. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to participate, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the prompts and recommendations. Okay, so for prompt number 1, it is Partridge in a Pear Tree, and that is to read a book with a fruit, a bird, or a tree on the cover. Now, I have plenty of options for you guys. These are not the only books that you can read for these prompts, by the way. These are just different options for you guys to pick through. If you need extra help finding a book that fits the prompt, then that is what these ones are. Hopefully, they will be helpful for you, but let's go ahead and go into it. So, books with a bird on the cover. You can do The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. There is a tiny little bird right there in her dress, and it doesn't have to be a big bird. It can be as small as that, but as long as it works for the challenge. You can also do, if you want more of a hard-hitting contemporary, you can do All the Right Places by Jennifer Niven. As you can see, there is a bird right there on that post-it note. And this was a very hard book to read. But if you're down for the hard-hitting content in this, I would definitely recommend. How about a bird and a fruit? You can definitely do a more fantastical magical realism setting with this book, Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe. This is by Heather Weber, and I don't know too much about this book. I haven't read it just yet, but the synopsis sounded really good, and I've heard good things, so hopefully you'll enjoy it, and so will I. Some other fruit options that you have here are Geekerella by Ashley Poston. There is a little pumpkin right there on the truck, and definitely option for another YA contemporary. This one is just a little bit more lighthearted and fun, and just a good time. I jingle, and I like it. Or if you want something more paranormal and angsty and a throwback, you can definitely do Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. You can also do the first book in the Twilight series, since that one has an apple on the cover. Definitely an option there as well. So there you go. As for trees, I don't have very many books with trees on the cover, but I did have Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. This has technically 2 trees because it's an upside down tree with a reflection of a tree. It's a lot of trees. Anyways, this is a historical fiction, magical realism about the sister of Beethoven. So this one was a really fun read. And say you can't find something with a full tree in it, you can definitely take inspiration from the tree. As you can see here, there are some palm tree leaves on the corner and on the spine of this book. That's definitely a way to fulfill the prompt as well. Okay, for prompt number 2, we have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and that is to read a red book. Now, so many options that you can choose from here. Obviously, you don't have to just choose these 4 that I'm going to show you. But again, if you need some recommendations, here we are. We have Nocturna. I'm not going to say this author's name because I mess it up every time, but fantastic book if you're looking for a YA fantasy with an awesome magic system and just a good time. This is definitely one I recommend. If you want a queer contemporary romance, you can do Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. Such a fun Really awesome contemporary romance. I definitely will be rereading this sometime soon because this is a lot of fun. If you want to support a fellow booktuber and a self-published author, you can do the Anti-Virginity Pact by Katie Wimser. This has writing on the front cover as well as on the spine and on the back. So if you don't have a fully read book, this is something that you can do as well. This is a fantastic contemporary book. Has some dark themes in it, some hard-hitting topics, but so good. And then, of course, it wouldn't be my channel or my brand if I didn't recommend Sarah J. Maas's House of Earth and Blood, first book in the Crescent City series. Definitely going to recommend this one to you if you haven't already read it and you want a high adult fantasy with lots of intrigue. Go for this one. Okay, prompt number 3 is Silent Night. Don't judge a disability by its visibility. And this is to read a book featuring a disability. I'm going to start by recommending a book that I don't actually own, but I have read. I listened to it via audiobook, and that is the first book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series by J.R. Ward, and that is called Dark Lover. The main male character in this book is blind, and so that can definitely be an option for you guys if you're looking for a very smutty, very adult paranormal romance. You can also go with something that's a little bit more YA and has a fantasy retelling aspect to it, and you can do A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. The main character in this book, I believe, has cerebral palsy. I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know she has some type of disability. I don't know if I correctly stated what it is, but I have heard really good things about this, and I'm really hoping I enjoy it. If you are still in the October thrillery vibes in December, you can definitely pick up Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. One of the characters in this book is deaf and uses sign language, so definitely an option there. Or if you just want to go lighthearted, contemporary, adult romance, you can do Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. One of my favorite books of the year, so amazing, but the main character, Chloe Brown, has chronic pain, so definitely another option for you. All right, the next prompt is prompt number 4, and that is I have a little dreidel, and this is to choose a book that involves a game. Now, for this prompt, you can kind of interpret it in different ways. You can do a book that has a hardcore game and choose something more like The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Obviously, has game in the title. It is about a game. This is definitely an option for that. Or if you want to stretch things a little and you don't know if you want to read a book that has the main concept is about a game, you can do To All the Boys I Loved Before series. Unfortunately, you would have to read the second book to get to the book that has a game in it. In the second book, they feature their own version of tag or hide and seek. It is a very interesting game to follow in the book, but like I said, it is in the second book and not in the first. This is the first book. But an option for you if you would like to read the series and want to binge both number 1 and 2, or if you have read the first book and need an extra push to read the second book, there you go. Then I kind of interpreted a game more as a competition, so that's definitely an option here as well. You can do Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, a competition to get into the Wondrous Society. Or if you want something a little bit more YA and fantastical, you can do Where Dreams Ascend, which is a magical competition with magicians. So options, options, options. All right, prompt number 5 is I'll Be Home for Bookmas, and this is to read a book in your favorite cozy spot in your house. Now, obviously, for this particular prompt, you can choose whatever book you want, whatever floats your fancy, because this is more of a prompt that allows you to kind of mix and match whatever you feel the need to read during this month. But I have a couple of different options that I think I'm going to choose for this prompt, so I thought I would give you recommendations regardless. So I have a couple of criteria for things that I would like to do towards the end of the year, and these things all fit into that. So I would like to start some new fantasy series, not that I need to because I have so many going, but you know how that is. And for that, I have City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This sounds really good. It's adult, high fantasy. I've heard really good things. Don't know too much more about it, but really hoping that I love it. Then, of course, I could always go for romance. So I picked up My Favorite Half-Night Stand by Christina Lauren. I've heard really good things about this author. I have read one of their books before and thoroughly enjoyed it. So hoping I get to this sometime soon. Gotta love a fantastical middle grade. I have Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. Really wanted to read one of his books since I really enjoyed Glee growing up, so definitely want to read this. And then another criteria is to finish some series that I'm currently in the middle of. So I have God's Grave here by J. Kristoff. This is I believe it's the second book in the Nevernight Chronicle series. And so I'm really, really hoping that I can get to this sometime soon because finishing some series would be great. All right, prompt number 6 is Baby It's Cold Outside, and this is to read a cozy book. Again, another prompt that leaves the book picking totally up to you, but again, some more recommendations that I was thinking of. A start of a new series, The Vine Witch. This is by Luann G. Smith. Heard really good things about it. It's quite short, perfect for a readathon as well, so definitely an option. Again, some more romance. One Day in December by Josie Silver. Definitely a fantastic read for December since it's set in December, and it's nice and wintry. For my middle grade pick, I have Blended by Sharon M. Draper. This is about a mixed young girl who is just learning about life and learning how to find herself. Really can't wait to read this. And then to continue on with the series, I have Scythe by Neil Schusterman. This is a fantastic utopian story that I'm really hoping to continue on with the series. Okay, prompt number 7 is All I Want for Bookmas Is You, and this is to read a book that features a romance or a friend group. So I have 2 options for both of those different options that you have in this prompt. And for friend group, I chose a throwback, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. The series has a little bit of romance here and there throughout the series. However, I really enjoy the friend group in the first book of this series, and I'm really hoping that I can finish off the series soon, maybe this year. Cross my fingers, who knows. But I love the friend group in here, Grover and Annabeth, I always forget her name, but you know who I mean. Really excited for this. And then another friend group that I've heard so many good things about but haven't quite got around to reading is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is a heist story that has, I think, 6 characters. That I've heard is a really awesome found family, a really awesome friend group, and I'm really hoping to get to this soon. Alright, and then to some romances. A romance that I haven't read yet but really am excited for is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Hate to love romance, gotta love it. Hoping to get to this soon. And then a romance that I absolutely adored, and that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. The name doesn't sound very December-y or wintry, but it's a fantastic romance that I recommend that you can read any time of the year. Alright, prompt number 8 is Happy Kwanzaa, and this is to read a book by a person of color or about a person of color. I chose quite a bit of books for these, but I just wanted to give some options for different authors and books about people of color. There are plenty of options to choose from, definitely not just by authors that are Black, but you can choose Indigenous authors, Asian authors. There's so many options for this, so broaden your horizons, read more diversely. It's fantastic. So I have Star Daughter here by Shavita Thakrar. This is a book that I got in my OWL crate, and I'm really excited for this, hoping to get to this soon. A really awesome Asian-inspired fantasy, Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nian. Definitely recommend. It was a fun time. If you want to go more contemporary and read a book in verse, you can definitely do The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. How about a manga? You can definitely try Orange. I've heard really good things about this. It's a thick baby, but I've heard really good things. Definitely want to get around to it, and really needs to step up my manga game for sure. Looking for a fantasy that has beautiful Black characters on it, you can choose Daughter of Neri. This is by Renee K. Amayo. Sorry, butchered that, but you know what I mean. Heard really good things about this, really hoping that I love it. And how about a contemporary, more technologically based book, and that is Slay by Brittany Morris. This one's fantastic. I always recommend this to people if you're looking for a good YA contemporary, but has some hard-hitting topics in there as well. Check this out. Prompt number 9 is My Favorite Things, and this is to read a book that features your favorite trope. Now, obviously, tropes are super subjective. Some people love some other tropes, while other people hate those exact tropes. This is totally up to you. Make sure to do what makes you happy and what works for you, but these are some tropes that I particularly love, and some books that obviously feature that trope. So I'm gonna start with this one. We're throwing it back to the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and this is the 4th book in the series, the next book that I need to read in this particular series. But I love a dark, smutty paranormal romance. That's a fun trope for me. Might not be for everybody, but something I love, and definitely a book series that I recommend if you like these too. How about some fantastical fantasy retellings? Or for, in this case, a sci-fi retelling. And this is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is a really awesome series that is a retelling of some of the classic Disney fairy tales, but in more of a sci-fi vein. Really excited to continue on with the series. The first book was really good. I love a strong, badass female character, and especially an assassin badass female character, so you know I had to recommend Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Would it be my channel if I didn't recommend at least 2 Sarah J. Maas books? I think not, so here you go. And of course, I am a sucker for romance, and I absolutely love fake dating, and I love friends to lovers, so what's better than a 2-in-1? We have Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the 2nd book in the Brown Sisters series, I think it's what it's called. I talked about the first book. This is the 2nd book. Both of them are amazing. I would definitely read them in order if you have the chance, but you don't have to. They're so good. So good. Okay, prompt number 10 is Last Bookmas, and that is to read a book that was published in 2019. Now, obviously, so many options for books that were published in 2019. There are so many, it's kind of ridiculous. But these are just some options that I pulled off of my shelves that I thought I would give you a recommendation for. So we have I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. This is a book about a non-binary individual, as well as it's written by a non-binary author, so it is own voices, and it was really fantastic. Doing another Elizabeth Acevedo shout out, we have With the Fire on High. I've heard really, really good things about this. It is on my TBR for this month, so I'm really hoping that I enjoy it. If you want more of an historical fiction-y type of recommendation, I have City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is about an older woman telling her story to a younger reporter, and I've heard really, really good things about this. And then, of course, if you want a wonderful graphic novel, you can pick up Heartstopper Volume 2. Unfortunately, this is Volume 2, whereas the first volume was published in 2018. However, if you haven't read the series yet, they are quick reads, very fun reads, and you'll be dying to move on to the second one as soon as you read the first one, so it's perfect. Oh, I love this series so much and cannot stop recommending it. Okay, so for prompt number 11, it's Underneath the Tree, and that is to read a book that was either gifted to you or a book that you gifted to yourself. So you can kind of interpret this in any way, shape, or form. You can obviously read a book that somebody has given you as a gift, or say that you bought a book for yourself, really wanted it, you gifted it to yourself, you can read that. Or say you gifted a book from the library that you really wanted to read, and that's what you're gifting yourself this Christmas, is to read a book that you're really looking forward to from the library. So there are plenty of options to choose from for this. Do with it as you please, but I'm going to give you some options of books that I was gifted, as well as 2 options of books that I gifted myself. So one of my really good friends and fellow booktubers, Brayden, gifted me Tiny Infinities, and I'm really excited for this. Also, another one of my subscribers gifted me Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I read this past month and really, really enjoyed it. So I'm really happy that I was gifted this. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that I liked it. As for books I gifted myself, I recently picked up The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I've really heard such amazing things about this. I've seen so many people crying over this book, being so happy about it, raving about it from the rooftops. So I really wanted to pick it up for myself. And I didn't really need to pick it up, but I bought it as a gift for myself, and I'm so happy that I did. And then a book that was really a gift and a non-necessary buy was the UK editions of Throne of Glass. I own the entire American set of Throne of Glass, but when I saw the UK paperbacks, I knew that I needed them. So I spent a lot of money to get the UK paperbacks for myself, and it was a total gift, but I'm so happy that I did it, and I have no regrets. And finally, the very last prompt that we're going to talk about is prompt number 12, and that is I Wish You a Merry Bookmas, and that is to read the group book or buddy read a book. That's if you aren't able to get your hands on the group book or are not interested in reading it, you can definitely buddy read with a friend or one of us or a fellow booktuber. However you want to buddy read is totally up to you. That just gives you an option to complete all of the prompts without having to read the group book. And the group book for Merry Bookmas is The Deceivers by Kristen Simmons. I don't have my copy just yet, but it is on the way to me, and I'm very, very excited to be able to read this book for this particular month and discuss it with all of you guys and the author on the 19th of December. It's so exciting, but I don't know too much about this particular book, seeing as I don't own it yet, but I have read a blurb from another author, and it just sounds so good, so I'm going to read that to you. And it says, forget charm school. Vale Hall is an elite prep society that recruits special children who have a knack, not for getting good grades, but for perfecting the art of deception. Attending the school appeals a great deal to Bryn Hindler, who spends all summer scamming rich kids out of their sizable allowances. In short, she's the perfect candidate for Vale Hall. But the more she learns about Vale, the more suspicious she grows that the school is up to no good. The Deceivers, the first book in an action-packed young adult trilogy, is brilliantly plotted, tightly paced, and intensely smart. That sounds so good, and I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy it, that I enjoy it, and that we get to talk all of our thoughts over with the authors as well as the hosts of this particular SeasonAthon. So with all that being said, that is the end of this video. Please let me know down in the comments below if you will be joining us for this season's SeasonAthon. I am so excited to be joining all of you guys. I'm so blessed to be able to participate in this with you guys. So thank you so much to Melanie and Clint for allowing me to do so. Again, please don't forget to follow them. I will leave all of the information that you need to know in the description box below, along with Twitter information, Instagram accounts for the hosts, all of that stuff, so you guys don't miss any part of the action for this month's SeasonAthon. Stay tuned for my TBR that will be coming up towards the beginning of December, so make sure you keep your eyes open for that if you want to see what I'll be reading for all of these prompts. But that's it. There's nothing left to say. I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait for the month of December, and I hope that you guys are excited too. Let me know down below what you guys are going to read for some of these prompts, what you think about the SeasonAthon. If you have any questions, let me know. But that is it. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!